Well, we're back.
Well, we're back. Elisa and I were about to have a meta convo about last podcast, and we decided it would be even more fun for everyone if we recorded it. What's a meta?
In the name of vulnerability, we want everyone to hear this friendship conversation we're about to have.
Yep.
Okay, meta is Jennifer and I's trademarked phrase. Not. It comes from the term meta communication, which is a term used in counseling to mean communication about the communication. Okay. So, like, if you were to tell someone, like, you've been raising your voice at me a lot lately, or like, I feel like that answer was really short, any type of observation or communication about communication in itself is called meta communication. So,
Yeah.
Jennifer and I have coined the term because when we are sensing like some sort of like potential conflict in our relationship, like our friendship, or if it's like I'm having feelings about this and I want to tell you about them, but like it's weird to do that, we call it like a meta where we can be like, okay, this is what's going on and this is like the true feelings about it.
Yes, and this is what the therapy industry does because what we actually did was we recycled an idea that already had been had by someone else and then we renamed it,
Yes.
which is trademark for the therapy industry because in our opinion or mine, that is what like most of therapy theories are is like someone recycled an old idea and branded a new name on it and then called it their own.
Yes.
TM.
Yeah.
So we TM'd meta communication, meta, and called it our own.
Meta. So, yeah, when you tell someone, all right, let's have a meta, that means like, let's be real and like, let's just say the thing that we're thinking. Um, or we'll say like, okay, here's the meta on it. Like, I'm feeling this way, but I feel conflicted because of this. And, I don't know. It's just like, it's good to have a friendship where you can sort out that, you know?
Yeah.
That's
Okay, well, let's do it. Tell me what you said a minute ago.
okay.
Did I?
This is modeling A-level friendship. Okay.
That's right.
Okay. The thing I said a moment ago that made you say, let's record this on the spot is I said, do you feel like I came on too strong at the beginning of our last episode? Because the episode started, hit record, and
Boom.
you didn't die. How do you feel about that? You thought you were going to be dead this time last year.
No, you said, is there any time in the last year that you thought you were going to die?
Oh, yeah. See, who asks their friend that? Okay, so the question
Good content.
this is meta communication because I'm like reflecting on that last podcast episode. I'm like, I think I came on a little too strong. And I also don't want you to think it was for the sake of content or
Oh,
entertainment
sure.
for me to be like, oh, let's get philosophical and use your experience
Yeah.
as part of that. So,
Okay. My meta response is I loved that I was amused and I thought it was endearing that that was the first thing you said. And I am here for that. Like, let's go straight to a real question about life. And I think that's a good question to ask someone who has cancer. Well, I guess everyone with cancer should get to answer for themselves, but I will answer for myself. Yes, I would love to tell you more about what it was like to think I was about to die and process that with anyone and everyone who wants to listen because when you've gone through something like that, it helps to talk about it over and over, right? Because it's like
right,
repetitive exposure kind of decreases the trauma of it.
right.
And so I liked it. But what was hard for me, which I kind of already told you, Marco, was the more we talked about it, we were talking about whether I was cured or not. And that was triggering for me because I haven't really, post the transplant, I haven't really had to like talk with anyone or like engage the public or a friend about whether or not I'm cured. And since this cancer is incurable and I will have to live with it forever, like I'm really trying to straddle the fence of knowing everyone is excited for me, that I'm like, I really am okay right now, and the transplant went well. And when I tell them too, like, I'm giving everyone content saying, like, I'm very optimistic about how well I'm going to do,
Mhm.
but I'm still terrified. And I'm still grieving the fact that this cancer could shorten my lifespan and it could come back quickly and it will come back again and I'll have to treat it. And barring like medical advancements that I hope for, it definitely could shorten my lifespan, and that sucks.
Mhm.
So now I've said a lot.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I'm going back to, I don't know if this made the final cut of the last episode, but I was like, so it could be argued that I have the same amount of myeloma in my blood as you do, like based upon one blood test that comes back clean, you know? But I'm like, that was kind of insensitive of me to say because it's like, no, because you have these ingredients for it to come back, basically. And so it's like, I just feel like I was a little dismissive in like my optimistic parts being like, "Come on, Jennifer, get on our parade. We are
Yes.
for you." And like you don't even like want it. And I'm just like, "Well, just jump on because there's scientific evidence that says you're good, you know?" But like I get what being cautiously hopeful looks like because my nephew has cancer and like it's likely to come back in during his lifetime. And so
Mm,
when he got
yeah.
his clean scan or like the 6-month scan and stuff like that, my family was like, you know,
Yeah.
yay, yay. But you know,
Yeah.
mhm,
I liken it a lot to, and this is like such a stretch probably, but like infertility, like
yeah,
when someone has gone through a lot of pregnancy losses or infertility and then they get pregnant and everyone wants to be like, "You're finally pregnant. We're so happy for you." And they're like, "I'm really not happy. I'm terrified and
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that I'm going to lose this baby." And like it sort of feels like that. And the other thing is that I just talked to someone about this, like when you've been through that and or going through that and then you see other people that are pregnant, it's really jarring.
yeah,
And I just talked to a fellow myeloma person and understood for the first time that this is not just me, but it's really hard for me to see old people. Like
mhm,
80 or 90-year-olds like living their best life because I'm so scared I may not like get to see that. And I'm like trying to process that fear. And so I didn't realize that was not just a me thing. It's a people with like life-limiting cancers thing. And
yeah,
I've been really struggling with, like, I'll see people like I was around some older people who are planning retirement things at like 80, and it really rocked my world. I was like, I cannot be in the room right now.
mm,
You guys are making me angry and
yeah,
upset.
yeah. Like you feel like you got gypped.
It's the grief that you could get gypped, even if I don't know that I will. It's the awareness that, like, that may not happen for me.
Mhm.
That's so hard.
Yeah,
What if I don't get to be 90? Even if 90 is not great, it's just that, like, idea of it feels like
yeah,
upsetting.
yeah.
So,
I feel like I make sense of things by like trying to find a comparison of like what you'd compare that to that's relevant for me, but I can't think of anything. Like I think that's a really unique experience. Like
I agree. And that's okay. But you're listening to me explain it. But yeah, it is hard. Like you can't understand parenthood really unless you're sitting in it, or long-term marriage unless you're doing it. And it's like someone could imagine what that's like, but they can't. It's just that's life. Like it's okay that you can't know exactly what it's like to have cancer. I would not want you to.
Mhm.
But if you did, I'd be here for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. I can see all of the developmental connotations and stuff with that. Or just like, you told me before the stuff that you've already lost from this and then the potential losses. Like, yeah, there's so much grief involved. And I talk about this like a broken record, but it's like, disenfranchised grief, classic version of it. Cause
Yeah.
everyone around you is like, oh, you should be grateful that you came out of this. And I'm like, oh, I said that last time. It's like, you should be grateful and like, why are you sad? Like, you just gained a whole lot of life back. You didn't lose. But the impending grief of loss and then like looking at you
Yeah.
you lost a summer with your kids too, you know?
True.
Yeah.
And my hair and a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I went in to see the doctor the first time, the doctors are really excited about all the advancements in myeloma. And so she was like, we used to, some people used to get like 5-year prognosis. And she looked at me and she's like, I'm planning for you to have like 10 or 20 or more years. And all I heard was 10 or 20 when she said that. And I go home that night and I'm like, I'm 42, 20 years is 62. That is devastating. Like the idea of that
Yeah.
is horrifically devastating. And so I'm processing something someone said to me as really good news, which is actually really shitty news if we're allowed to cuss. Like that's really horrible news to get, but it's given to you as good news and you're like, "Wait a minute. This is not good news."
Mhm.
But it is good news in a way because if you reverse it, like I'm glad I'm alive right now.
Yeah.
Which way do you want that pill to go?
Yeah.
You can you can make it feel good and you can make it feel tragic, and I think it's both.
Hmm. Yeah. Either way, like you're not obligated to jump on anyone's train, of like what that news means to them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're speaking with a doctor who doesn't have cancer themselves, And so to
Yeah.
them it's like, "Oh, this is like, medicine at its best," But for you
Yeah, and
it's
he's
like
excited for it.
yeah, but for you it's like this isn't life at its best. This isn't how life is supposed to be with a limit on it or oh,
That is a big dialectic
yes. Point out the dialectic for our listener.
for Marcia because she's, I'm sure, listening. But back to the meta. So when you said all that, it wasn't that I felt you were being insensitive. It was that in the moment I felt like I couldn't articulate an answer that satisfied me representing myself. It really wasn't truly meta to you as a friend. Like it wasn't that you said anything that hurt my feelings. I was just like, "Oh, technically I don't have myeloma, but like what is that?" Like I couldn't say at the time like, "But there is myeloma somewhere even though it's not in my blood."
Mhm. Yeah.
And I couldn't like say it. And then I was like, I just couldn't respond.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it now?
Um, I'm like, I'm glad you didn't do the cold capping. Like that's what I'm mainly thinking about because it's like you're like there's myeloma somewhere but not in my blood. But then I'm like, remember how they said that if you just left one cell with that, like then you'd be like wondering at this point, or if it came back,
I
then you'd be
know
like, oh, should I have not? Like the hair loss has been really hard, but
it has.
yeah,
But because of the reason, like that I didn't want to leave I did everything I could to take every opportunity to kill every last little cell,
yeah, yeah.
even with my hair. But it is technically still here with
There
us.
it
Look
is.
how pretty.
There it is. Oh,
Oh God. That's
what a time.
that's I enjoyed having it. That was actually like the third meta audience because we've actually Marco Poloed about this twice. To be fair.
Yeah, and we want to make it clear we're not seeking any type of reassurance by doing it is. It's a lot of reassurance actually with like doing meta stuff. But it's like, sometimes friendships fizzle out and stuff because visiting the meta communication or visiting like real feelings about topics or like the potential to have hurt someone or offended them, sometimes you're not afforded those opportunities, and so like the friendship kind of ends or ghosts or something like that. And so I'm always grateful for the meta communication, even though it's like, you know we're getting into territory. You don't know what's gonna come out, but I think that's how friendships become deeper and stuff because you can address things, and it ends up making them stronger instead of like, that ended clumsily.
Yeah, you almost need to like work it in to a friendship or a relationship. Like, hey, we need to schedule a meta. How's our friendship going?
But some people are like, no, thank you. They don't want they don't want this meta communication. Yeah.
Oh,
That's one of the weird things about like I don't get to do my life over a second time and see what life is like not as a therapist. because
Yeah.
we are behaving like therapists right now. My
Yes, we are.
That's why this is very much like I am using the skills that I teach, if I'm
Yeah.
telling people to, use empathy and these skills and stuff like that, I should be doing that. It's part of like um congruency, authenticity, characteristics of a good counselor. But yeah, I'm like, what's life like for people who aren't counselors? Or like what's friendship like or something? You really have to be intentional about creating and like sitting with vulnerability, you know? So
I think it's a perk.
yeah.
I mean, it's like being a personal trainer, like you're in the gym all the time. So they probably are pretty fit,
Yeah.
like a personal trainer, but that's what they also do all day. So they've stretched those muscles.
Right.
But some days I'm just done with it, and I appreciate the people who aren't interested in talking about all feelings.
Yes.
But most of the time, I would rather talk about feelings and people around me don't want to. Hashtag all my boys and my husband.
Okay. Yeah.
They're very disinterested in Metameta. They're like, what, mom?
No.
Come on.
Yeah. All right, everyone. We had to cut out a segment because a train went by. But I wanted to give Jennifer some space to talk about this website dream that she has because it
Oh,
ties in so well to everything we always talk about. And
you want me to make a commercial on our podcast?
yeah, yeah, just because I think the content is needed and it can be really validating to hear like what you would hope to give people through your website. So,
Okay, here's my market. This is what I would do if I was going on a podcast to get traction to this website.
okay.
Okay. The idea of the website, which I already bought the domain. Also, who hasn't bought a domain at some point and said, I'm going to make something?
Oh my
Doesn't,
gosh. My husband, who has access to all these domain buying sites, and
yeah.
he's a web developer. He has a bunch of domains.
See?
Yeah.
This is the third or fourth. I mean, I have my private practice domain website that I actually use and is in the world, but I've also bought like two or three before because I was like, oh, this idea is so good. I have to buy this domain.
We used to
But
have emails of like our last names and stuff like that. So it was like Elisa at Schlepp and stuff like that, like dot whatever. It's just like, okay. Anyways, okay, so you bought a
okay.
domain. You're actually doing something with it. This isn't like buying sour.
Oh, I am. I'm in deep now. I've been just like some sort of high control groups when you're in so deep you can't get out because you've invested so much.
Yep.
That's me in this website now.
Relatable.
Okay. It's called healingfromreligion.com.
Okay.
Who knew that was available? Once I saw it was available, I was like, well, it's happening.
Yep.
The vision is to have like a space where people can get tons and tons of resources and content for free
Mhm.
and like to amalgamate resources together. So my vision is to have a very, very long, thoughtful like resource list of books
Mhm.
by concept, like by subject, and you could filter them in. So like a library of books, a library of podcasts,
Okay.
um, and then therapy support groups, and then maybe therapy something. That's one part is just like go to this spreadsheet or whatever and find some things that are helpful to you for free. And then I want there to be a whole section of free video content
Okay.
that isn't therapy, but it is the information that we could get out of either therapy or studying behavior or studying high control groups, studying religious trauma. And like you could watch a quick video and get information about us part of that topic for free.
Okay.
That's my idea.
So the audience is people who have been burnt by religion or by their church or something like that.
Specifically people who are fresh to Googling this, and it's like the me that would have been Googling stuff in the middle of the night,
Okay.
like 10 years ago, who like has no one to ask because nobody will understand what I'm struggling with.
Mhm. Mhm.
Also, like deconstruction wasn't even around, so I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Googling in the middle of the night and finding like there's like a friendly face here explaining these concepts, and I'm not alone, and here's some basic info. Ta-da.
Nice. Nice.
Yes.
I feel like that encompasses a lot of needs that people have at that time. Because you're right, it is isolating. Or the people, what do they call them? Physically in, mentally out, PMOs, or whatever. Like when you're still having to, like, because of family obligations or whatever, you're still having to go and participate and like act like you're still in, but mentally you're like, I don't believe in this stuff anymore, or like this is actually really problematic. Or like people who are paid staff at churches and stuff like that, they're having a whole
Yeah.
like psychological process going on, but physically they are obliged because of how they earn a living and stuff like that, at least for the
Yeah.
time being, until they figure out something else or a career shift or whatever. But
Exactly,
yeah.
because there's no one they can talk to. And it's so isolating when you can't say anything because your family or friends or your literal like job
Mhm.
will have repercussions. And so you don't know that there's actually a lot of other people like you going through that, except on the World Wide Web.
Yep. Yeah. Hmm.
Perk, perks of the internet.
Yeah, it's interesting like how the terms have developed and like how deconstruction has become kind of like a normal word to use, evangelical, or things like that. And then you get people who are like, deconstruction's actually really bad. Like there's like a war against postmodernism, for example, like within fundamentalist circles or religious circles. There's war against postmodernism because it's like postmodernism says the truth is relative, basically. The fundamentalists are like, no, it's not, because I have it right here. It's black and white. So
Yes.
they tend to reject postmodernism. And so I think there's the same rejection that happens towards deconstruction, to where they're like, you know, that's dangerous. That's a slippery slope. That's how people get stolen away or whatever. And they put this emphasis on reconstruction, which is like reconciliation or repentance. I'm like, oh, interesting. All those words start with re. Um,
Yeah, you could TM that.
yeah. Oh, yeah. We could do like
Write
a
a book.
4-point sermon on like all these words that start with the same letter.
That's such a sermon thing to do. It all has the same letter.
Yeah, nowadays, this happens. My husband and I will go walking or something like that, and I'm like, "Oh, that's such a sermon illustration."
Yes.
Because like for a long time, it's like you would see stuff, and it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna make a note of that for some sort of illustration in the future or whatever." But anyways, yeah, I think the terminology has been so different, or interesting to see how it's developed. Because when I opened my private practice, and I had been seeing clients with some religious trauma for a few years, and I didn't really have words to put to it, because like I was just working at a group agency, so they didn't let me put stuff on the website, or like they didn't let me like, write stuff and publish it or whatever. So when I opened my own practice, I was like, how do I describe what those clients are going through? Or how do I describe that as a specialty? And I just landed on like spiritual baggage or something like that. Because
Yeah.
like, that's how it feels. Like it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it feels like heavy, or, you're sort of tied to something, and like this spirituality is uncomfortable or whatever. But like, I didn't come across the term for religious trauma or something like that till way after. And then I was like, oh,
Yeah.
the SEO for religious trauma is a lot better than spiritual baggage trademarked by Elisa. So,
No, we don't have words. We literally don't have good words in our dictionary for the things that's happening to people.
yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, the like spiritual abuse, church hurt. I think church hurt's a little bit controversial to use in our circles, at least, because it kind of minimizes the impact of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has been
It's like,
difficult.
oh, you're hurt, like, oh, you got your feelings hurt type of deal. But it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot more psychologically defining than something like, I got my feelings hurt.
The words I've been like, I was actually thinking of this last night. I'm trying to come up, I want to trademark a word
Okay.
to use instead of the phrase high control religion.
Okay.
That doesn't roll off the tongue. It doesn't, but what I think it's expressing is that it's sort of expressing like fundamentalist religion. It's
Um,
sort of expressing the
extremism.
dogmatic extreme religion, the religions that are more like in statistically, like if you could look at them, they're causing more religious trauma. They're causing more harm. They're much more difficult to deconstruct or get out of or switch from. Like there's a, and then I was like, is it just the word religion then? My like yes leaning parts were like, well, probably just religion. But I don't know, like I think we need a different word to describe a kind of religion that causes harm
Mhm.
like that.
Well, they use the
So
word
let me know.
like high control groups too. Like, are you referring to the group or the practice of it?
Are you asking me
Yeah.
for a high control group?
Yeah, because like they'll be like, oh, I escaped this high control group. Sometimes people say that instead of cult, you know?
That's what I was about to say. It's like a nicer version of
Yeah.
cult
Yeah.
or like cult-ish religion could work there,
Uh-huh.
like a cultish religion if you wanted to be controversial with some people.
Well, then it sounds
I
similar
don't
to
know.
the occult, you know?
Ooh,
That's a whole nother type of religion.
words are tricky.
I don't know why they exist, but here they are.
The occult is less like a cult
I don't know
sometimes.
about that. Sometimes, maybe.
Well, it depends which occult group you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is it OCCULT?
Yeah. It's like the dark arts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I think, I mean, you can have high control tendencies in anything, like in corporate
Yes.
jobs, in certain departments. You can have it like on a PTA board. You can have high control stuff going on in gyms. Like it seems wherever two or more are gathered together, there's a potential for there to be some sort of control takeover, some sort of like um, seeding of your own independence.
Yes, but going back to last week's
Mhm.
podcast, because you were talking about the vulnerability of like rehab populations, and you just
Oh,
sent a text message about this.
yes.
Yes, I think it's true that high control dynamics and high control group human behavior exists everywhere. There are certain sections of that evolving where it's like, is this going to be a small kindling flame or is this going to be gasoline into a bonfire? And I think when you intertwine high control dynamics with a vulnerable population like that, like rehab, or when you mess with high control dynamics in something like meaning making systems like religion or the belief about what the world is or
Hmm.
that sort of element,
Human potential.
human potential movement.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like that recipe, like you can mix fire with a small twig, or you can make lots of stacks of wood with gasoline.
Yeah.
It's still a fire, but it burns differently.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. But, well, we resolved that. Enjoy your new words.
No, we still don't have a word. I'm still looking. I'm gonna
This week.
chat with Chat GPT later and find a
Okay.
new word.
Fine.
It's very good with words.
Yeah. We're good with new words too. We already have at least one trademarked. So,
Meta.
yeah. We actually don't.
See, it's
We think it's
catchy
stolen.
and good to remember.
What is?
Meta.
Yeah. That's easy. And we don't want to
But the
say,
phrase
let's engage in some meta communication about our recent correspondence.
But high control group does not do it for me. It's just, it doesn't articulate, I think, what you mean by that.
Yeah. Well, that'll be to be continued.
Okay, well, let me know on this podcast.
I'll let you know.
Chime in, listeners.
Yes, please submit if you have any ideas for us. We'd love to hear them.
Someone is listening and they're like, yeah, this. And we're like, we can't hear you through time and space.
Yeah, feel free.
Shout it, shout it really loud.
Yeah, let us know if you happen to
Okay.
be in Virginia or in North Carolina. Let us know.
For Texas.
Yes. Yep. So, well, that's that. Thank you for tuning in.
Yep. Hang with us next week. Sort of. I have a problem with next week. I'll tell you in a second. Okay.
Okay,
I'll talk to you later.
to be determined.
Okay, bye.
Bye.